In today's video, we play adventure games. Discover the story, The Dungeon. Let's take a look.
There are hobbyists among us, geniuses with the ability to play any game they want to. In 1978, a corporation known as The Interior isolated a young hobbyist named John and exploited his genius for their entertainment.
Then one day, their hobbyist ran away. Now for this playthrough, I will be using the app in order to get all of the game content. It is the exact same stuff that you will find here within the adventure book. It is just done here a whole lot easier. You don't have to worry about getting accidental spoilers, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, and it reads it to you. This is a free app, so it is free to use. It is very simple. You just pull up the app. It'll show you all of the games they have in it. You will select the game that you want. So here I selected The Dungeon. It'll then download that game and then add it to your game. So as you get more games, you will just have more up here. So then when you're ready, you just select the game you want. One of the other really nice things about the app is that it has two parts in here right off the rip. Giving you a little bit of information on it. But here it gives you a tutorial. This is a really great way to learn the game. If you haven't seen my how to play, or if you just want a refresher, that is a great way. Of course, here it only really talks about with 3 or 4 players. I am playing this solo, but I am playing with all 4 characters. I'll just go through it where, I just go down the line, 1, 2, 3, 4 plays. The next is the actual adventure book. This is what actually has everything, so we can go ahead and select that. And then it brings us here, and this is where we will just type in the number or letter for whatever we're doing. It'll then give us that flavor text, and of course we can hit the go to hear it. So let's start our game of adventure games, Discover the Story, The Dungeon. Up first, I will like to go ahead and show within the rulebook, it does give a little detail about saving your game if you do have to stop and go elsewhere. And it basically just tells you as simple as use your smartphone, take a picture of the layout, where you're sitting at, everything that's been going on, and then, clean everything up and you'll come back later. So to begin the game, now that you have everything you need to start the game, place your character figures on room card A and read entry 100 on page 5 of the adventure book. Of course, we are going to be using the app, so rather than reading 100 on page 5, we are going to go straight into the app and type in 100, hit go. It'll show us the text and begin reading the thing. Just to give you an idea of what I have going here so far, these are our chapter cards. These are our different exit cards. We really won't have any need for these and towards the end of the game, but I went ahead and set them out. Here are all of our different item cards. Here are all of our different room cards that have yet to be discovered. Here is our room card A with our figures on it, and here are our 4 characters with each one having their 3 life. As I get item cards for them, I'll place them here. And remember, the item cards can be shifted between players. So let's go ahead and type in 100 and hit go.
You wake up from an uneasy sleep and search around in the dark, your eyes wide open. You still have goosebumps all over your body. Weren't you just walking through a torchlit stone passageway? And then there was a noise? Or was it a scream? That's what woke you. Now all is quiet again, almost. For you can hear a sound too quiet to pinpoint its location, yet loud enough to be disconcerting. How did I even end up here? You ask yourself. Trying to remember makes your head hurt though, so you decide to take a look around you first. In the moonlight streaming in through the barred window, you slowly begin to make out details. You're lying on the stone floor of a dirty cell. A dungeon? You quickly look back to the window. Indeed, it's barricaded with solid iron bars. Feeling apprehensive, you take another look around. You can make out several shapeless shadows on the floor. Yellowish light flickers under the door, probably from a torch on the other side. There! Didn't one of those shadows just move? It's another human. Then you hear a voice. Where am I? What happened? This is followed by a groan. It sounds like someone else can't remember either. The voice sounds familiar, but your head starts to hurt again when you try and think who it might be. Slowly but surely, the others begin to wake up. You can't remember anything, but one name remains clear in your foggy brain. Berengar. He is a friend. Maybe he's locked up somewhere within these walls too. You resolve to find out what happened to you, who imprisoned you here, and above all, how to escape this dungeon. Take mission card A1. Read entry A on page 2.
So here we have mission card A1. Now, one thing within the app, as soon as I hit a room letter, it will then start reading it. So I don't know of any way to have the app do this kind of A1, so that we will need to do here on our own. The goal of this chapter is escape. You want nothing more than to escape this dark dungeon. Find the exit. Be on your guard though. Who knows what else is hidden within these walls? And then it shows room A. Now, one thing I will mention, I do not plan on doing a complete chapter 1 playthrough. This is more of an idea so you can get a better sense of the game, so you know if this is something you would be interested in. Once again, the game has 3 chapters, so watching this a little bit won't ruin a ton. There will be so much for us to do. Especially as you play through, there will be things that we go through, and you will learn things along the ways, and you will definitely play the game different as you move on through chapters 2 and 3, as you learn a little bit about the game. I will definitely, as I'm going through here, not intentionally, but skip things, not really look at everything, because you're moving around, you're looking at all your different little options, everything you have to do. So there's so much to this game that definitely when you play, there will be tons of extra stuff that you can do. So let's go ahead and see what we have for room A.
As you look around the cell, a huge locked wooden door, 101, with several scratches in it, 201, immediately catches your eye. In front of it, there is a grating in the floor, 401. On the bunk, you see a box, 701, and beneath it, something may be hidden in the shadows, 601. A brick juts out of the wall to your left, 501, while a skeleton, clad in heavy iron chains, hangs to your right, 301. Moonlight floods into the cell through a barred window, 801.
Well, if you remember, our actions that we can do is move to any location that we have available to us. Of course, since this is our current only location, there is nowhere to move. So our next action that we can do on our turn is to investigate a location item, to merge 2 cards together, or to use a card on a room. Well, of course, since we do not have any cards yet, there's nothing that we can merge together. There's nothing that we can do to the room, so all we can do is investigate our surroundings. Of course, I think the very first thing that we are going to do is immediately go and check out this door. There's definitely some light going on the outside. There is, we saw that shadow going on. There's something going on there. Let's go ahead and see, what there is. We have a couple options here. Of course, do we want to be a little cautious and examine the door, or do we want to just immediately try to open the door? our first character has a trait of the strong, so I'm kind of going to use that a little bit in with my playthrough. And so I'm thinking he's not as much the investigative type. He is immediately going to get up and want to get out this door. So I think we're going to go 101 and examine the door itself to see if there's anything that we can do about this. So let's go back to the numbers. 101.
The iron lock can only be opened with the right key.
Okay, so now we have to find a key, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be in this wooden box. So our next person is the skilled. So that is exactly what they are going to do. They will investigate this box to see if they can't figure out maybe what this key, see if we can't try to find this key. So let's go 701.
On the bunk is a small metal box. Unfortunately, it's locked and there's no keyhole. At first glance, you can't see a way to open it.
Interesting. Next up we have the attentive. So they're definitely going to look around their surroundings and try to check out all that is going on. And I think they notice this brick over here, 501, and decide, hey, I'm interested in this brick. What can we do here? Let's go ahead and see what that is.
Who knows what the loose brick might be useful for? Take adventure card 10.
Okay, so that immediately is going to get us our first adventure card. Technically, it is going to go to her, but again, remember, we can pass these items along between our players. And we got a brick, an old brick with a hole in the center. Very interesting. And next we have our knowledgeable. Now this guy probably wants to know all that is going on, so he is probably going to examine a few things. We've already looked at the box itself, so he will probably want to look at either the skeleton right here, or maybe take a closer look at the door. I think he's a little interested in the door itself, so let's go ahead and go 201 and take a closer look.
The upper half of the door is more damaged than you first thought. If you were to hit it with something sufficiently hard, you might be able to break it.
Okay. So I'm wondering if we can hit it with the brick. And of course our strong man is immediately going to want to do that. So on his action, he will want to combine the brick with the door to try to use it there. So to do that, we just type 10 because it is the smaller number with 201 after it. So it'd be 10, 201.
You hammer on the damaged part of the door with the brick. The wood creaks a little, but does not break. Maybe you can attach something to it to give you more force and speed to do more damage.
Okay, so it sounds like we're on the right path, that we want to be able to break down the door, but the brick alone is not going to be enough. So next we have our skilled player. So let's see, they will now examine the actual skeleton to see if there is anything here that we can use.
A creepy skeleton is all that remains of this prisoner. His arms are still chained to the wall with bronze shackles. Since he won't be needing his belongings anymore, you decide to search the half-rotten tunic that still hangs from his chest. Groping around, you manage to locate a pocket. Do you want to reach inside? If so, take adventure card 15.
Ooh, do we want to reach in his pocket? This could be anything. We could be getting an item. There could be something that could maybe hurt us in some way. I mean, something had to kill this guy, because I'm not seeing anything in the room. But I think my skilled guy is going to be nimble enough to hopefully get through this. So let's go ahead and take card 15. There we go. And see what we have. And we found a gold coin. So that will hopefully come useful, maybe to bribe somebody or maybe to buy something later on in the game. So now attentive. character. And being that they are attentive, I think they are going to notice this grate right here, and they are going to take a look at that.
It looks like the iron grating in the floor runs into a drain. You try lifting it out, but it's heavier than it looks and won't budge. For an instant, you think you see something glittering far below. You're not sure whether your arm is long enough to reach it, though. You want to try anyway? If so, then read entry 122.
Ooh, now this sounds dangerous. Do I want to risk sticking my arm down this grate? So many things could happen. There could be a creature down there. Maybe my arm could get stuck. Maybe I'll find another piece of gold. Especially that we just came up with this one. I think she is going to be definitely interested in getting her own item. Let's go with it. Let's read entry 122.
You feel around with your hand. There's something moving. In a flash, a snake wraps itself around your arm and sinks its fangs in. You withdraw your arm in fright, which causes the snake to fall off and disappear back into the sewer. That certainly wasn't what you saw glittering. You'll need something longer to reach it. You lose 1 health point.
Oh! So, he got hurt in that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now, I did make a couple corrections. I did notice that I immediately forgot which character I was actually on, so I swapped the health to remove 1 from her. I also went ahead and moved the brick, because remember, we gave it to him so he can bash on the door. And then I grabbed 1 of my chips. This is just a Chip Theory game chip, just so I can move it as I'm going along. So hopefully I won't forget once again which character I'm on at that given moment. So next we're going to go down to our knowledgeable. And I think they will want to look under the bed. So 601.
You reach under the bunk and feel something small and metallic in the dark. Take adventure card 13.
Okay. There we go. Bronze key. A small bronze key. Very cool. Alright, so now we're back to the strong man. Now, he, I think, is still going to be very interested in breaking this door down. Being that this is a bronze key, I don't think that's going to be what we need. I think he's going to still be focused on that goal, looking around the room to try to figure out something else that might be able to help us break it down. So he notices this broken bar here. Maybe that's something he can take advantage of for our brick. So he's going to go look at that window. 801.
The bunk creaks as you stand on it to examine the window. The bars are too close together to squeeze through. When you rattle them, you notice that one of the iron bars is loose though. Take adventure card 11.
There we go. So we have 11. So yep, we have an iron bar. So let's go ahead and give that to him as well. And then of course, I'm already getting messed up. Alright, so that's going to go to our next player now. Our skilled player. They will want to now go back to this case. We now have a key. I think they're going to want to try to use that on the box to see if they can open it. I want to remember it said something that they did not notice a lock on there. But maybe, you know, in a closer examination we'll be able to do it. So once again, to use an item on a room, we will take the smallest number, so it'll be 13701. So 13701.
The metal box doesn't have a keyhole.
Yeah. So they were skilled enough to try things, but and I thought I remembered it not having a keyhole, and that kind of verified it for us. So our attentive person will say, hey, wait a minute, strong man. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's try our key on the door itself to see if there's anything we can do there. So 13101, 13101.
Your hands tremble with excitement as you try to put the key in the lock. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit.
Dang. All right. So next, the knowledgeable person will see what our strong man has, how he has the iron bar and the brick, and he says, hey, I think we can use these two items together, and he is going to try to combine these two items. So he will go ahead and take those to see if he can combine them. And we are on this guy. So again, we go with the lowest number first. So it'll be 10, 11. 10, 11.
The iron bar fits in the hole in the brick almost perfectly. This makeshift hammer will surely have some power behind it. Return adventure cards 10 and 11 to the box and take adventure card 12.
Okay, so here we will return these to our box and take 12. Makeshift hammer. Did you build that all by yourself? That's funny. All right, so now we're back to our strong man, and he says, thank you for making my hammer, and he will definitely use the hammer on the door. Now our decision is, do we use it on the scratches or do we use it on the lock itself? I'm thinking we are going to use it on the door on the scratches itself, so it'll be 12201. 12201.
You repeatedly swing your makeshift hammer with all your might and smash it down on the weak spot in the door. The wood splinters after a few strokes, and soon the gap is wide enough for you to squeeze through. Your tool is no good for anything anymore, though. Return adventure card 12 to the box. Place room card C to the right of room card A, and read entry 901.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully we won't have needed this anywhere else in the game because we have broke this to smithereens. We will go ahead and get room card C. We'll place it like told. There we go. And read entry 901. So now we will go to entry 901.
With a queasy feeling in your stomach, you peek through the hole in the door. There can't be any guards around, or else it would have heard you trying to break out. With a sigh of relief, you realize that the coast is clear, and you can't see anyone in the torchlight. Place your character figure on room card C, and read entry C.
There we go. So now the rest of our people are still in room A. Our strong man is now over in C, and we will read C.
You find yourself standing in a hallway with 4 more doors. 2 have golden locks, 105 and 205. One of the doors is open, 305. A sign hangs above the doorway to your far right, 805. A symbol has been etched into the wall above the stairway leading up, 405, between the doors. There are 3 levers sunk into the floor, 505, 605, 705.
Alright, so now it is our skilled player's turn. So now we are finally getting to a couple different room options that we have. So immediately we can now start moving around back and forth. So our skilled player can stay in here, try to do a few more things, try to see if we can't figure this box out, or maybe move on. I think they are going to be interested in what's going on over here, so we will move to this room and immediately notice this light, 405. We are trying to escape. That is our goal here, and I think they are going to get a little anxious and really want to run up there to see what's going on, because, you know, like we were said in the lore here, if there were other people around, specifically guards, they definitely would have heard this door crash down. So hopefully there's nothing going to be up there. Let's look up this 405.
You go up the stairs of the middle passageway and find yourself in a long corridor. You sense danger ahead, but keep going. What could possibly happen? You stride on boldly, and the corridor soon begins to widen again. After a few more steps, you spot a mighty portal. Take room card D and place it above room card C. Then place your character figure on room card D and read entry D.
Alright, so we will have to rearrange things a little bit. Take card D, place it there. We'll go ahead and set these here. Move our skilled player in and read entry D.
The massive wooden portal is secured with 3 bronze locks, 109. Whatever lies behind it must be pretty important. To the left of the portal is a pile of wood, 209. Thick spider webs cover the ceiling, 509, and there is something scrawled on the wall to the left, 609. Just close to you, a stone slab sticks up a little from the ground, 409, to the right of which stands a barrel, 309. A large stone mask casts its gruesome gaze down on you from above the portal. Take adventure card 80 and read it out loud.
Alright, so adventure card 80. Going to be towards the back. Here we go.
No entry.
When you took your last step, you already had a hunch that the mask was watching you. As you want to continue your way, you hear a whistling sound coming from the mask's mouth, and an arrow shoots from it. If you are Orxora, read entry 159. So it looks like we have a different entry for each of our characters. We are Haruka. So we are going to read entry 259. Then return this adventure card to the box. So 259.
Thanks to your quick reflexes, you manage to throw yourself onto the ground in time. The arrow whistles over your head and smashes into the wall behind you. That was close.
Well, that sounds like this room is booby-trapped. We probably don't want anybody else to go up in here. It is probably lucky that we were our skilled player. If we were one of our other characters, maybe something more nefarious could have happened. Again, that goes into the whole replayability of this game, where you might want to play it again with a different character to see if maybe something else would have happened. Who knows? Maybe the attentive person would have been able to grab the arrow from the air, and you would have had something. Maybe they would have gotten injured, maybe even killed. Who knows? So that is one of the things that I really like here. We will go ahead and finish these last 2 characters, and I think then stop for this playthrough. Let's go ahead and move down to our attentive person. They will definitely want to enter the room as well. And they will see the open door, 305, and want to examine that.
The door to the second cell is unlocked. You notice some melted metal on the floor in front of it. Are these maybe the remains of the lock? That must mean that someone else has escaped too. Unsurprisingly, you find that there's nothing left in the cell of any value.
Okay, so there was nothing there for us. And then finally we will go down to our knowledgeable character. They too will come and join the rest of their cohorts. And we could look at the different... No, it's interesting. There's also little symbols here. I'm guessing these are going to be used for something. We probably don't want to just go willy-nilly cranking on levers. Who knows what could happen. They could, cause some detriment to us. Maybe they'll deactivate this mask. Who knows? Maybe they'll do nothing. I don't know. But so I think they will go and try to look at 805.
The sign above the doorway says Guards Quarters. You gingerly try the handle and find that the door is unlocked. You listen out briefly for sounds but can't hear anything. I wonder what's in there. You want to open the door quietly and carefully take a look inside? If so, then read entry 141. Or do you want to rush into the room ready for battle? Then read entry 156. Alternatively, you can retreat quietly.
Well, okay, so now we have two different options. We can quietly go in 141 or bust in 156. Well, here is our knowledgeable character. I think they are definitely going to be a come in quietly, where if we were of the strong man at this point, we probably would have busted in. So let's go ahead and sneak our way in. So we will do the 141.
You carefully open the door. When it's open just a crack, you catch sight of a man in the next room. You immediately stop opening the door and are just about to close it again when you hear a friendly voice. Don't be scared. I'm not a guard. And going by the way you're sneaking around here, you're trying to escape too, just like me. My name's Edric. Take room card E and place it to the right of the room card C. Take adventure card 90 and place it at the center of room card E so that all of the location numbers are still visible. Then place your character figure on room card E and read entry E.
Okay. So here we will go ahead and take room card E. And card 90. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. So kind of add to the thing. So I wonder if he will eventually leave the room, being that he's not a permanent picture on here. That's very cool. I like that a lot. So now entry E.
Upon entering the guard's quarters, you see a table 107, oven 207, shelf 607, and cupboard 307 to your left, and a barrel 507, as well as a door 707 to your right.
Well, that is Adventure Games The Dungeon. We went through a couple rounds here to give you an idea of how the game is played. I am definitely having an absolute blast moving through. I think we're doing pretty good thus far, as we only have one character who has gotten a point of damage. We found one bronze key, which until just looking, I've almost completely forgot about. Maybe on one of our next rounds, we might want to try to see if those keys can be used anywhere. But until then, we will go ahead and stop now, because again, I don't want it too potentially, spoiler. I definitely want you to use this more of an idea of how the game is played, again, so you can get an idea if this is something you would be interested in yourself. But if there is a lot of desire to see the story continue, I will definitely consider that. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this playthrough, and it helps you to determine if this is something you would be interested in. Once again, I definitely really enjoy this game. As far as escape room games go, it is definitely one of my favorites. It adds I like the way that we are combining items. I don't have to really worry about math or adding numbers together. I'm just kind of combining the numbers very logically, where the smaller number is always first. There's only so much you can do. Combine items, use an item in a room or examine a room. And then the fact that we have the room cards and that we can move around to where we're going adds all of that thematics to the game. It definitely makes us feel more like a room, more like an area that we are in. And this app is absolutely fantastic. It's got good voice narration. It's very easy to use. The fact that it has the tutorial in here as well, it is a one-stop shop. You basically can get this game, download the app, and very quickly learn how to play, and then get going right away. I absolutely love that. It is very, very nice. Definitely a recommendation for me, and definitely one of my top escape room type games that there is. Well, until next time, guys, I'll see you later.